Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. I sort of kind of blend in with the background, but it's a vibe. Anyways, so today I thought I would talk about something I saw on Instagram, which is this picture that I'll insert. I'll put it right here. And obviously this isn't the first time I've seen something like this, which is why I just thought I would make a video about it, because it made me really start thinking, and I was like, we need to talk about this. So basically, you know, it's this picture that I don't know if any of you follow this Instagram account called Feminist. They post a lot of really cool stuff, which is also part of why I was kind of disappointed that they posted this. But they post so much content a day that I don't even know if they think about it. They're just like, oh, that looks feminist. But it's usually a pretty good account, so that was weird. But it was this girl, I like checked out the girl who originally posted it, and it was like somebody had originally posted a picture of themselves with the overlay, thick thighs save lives. And this was a pretty skinny to regular sized individual. The whole like, what is a regular size? That is a whole different can of worms that maybe I will get into. I probably will get into. Who am I kidding? Of course I'm gonna get into it at some point. But I think we all have an idea of what we as a society think of when we think of skinny to regular. And for some reason there's a trend where these skinny to medium sized women often call themselves thick. And I was thinking about what is the appeal? Like, why all of a sudden, because it is all of a sudden, are we all wanting to be thick? And I encourage you to think critically about where these terms come from and why there's an appeal around them. So I was thinking, I was like, thick. When is the first time I heard the word thick? And I was like, probably either a black guy talking to me or a rapper. And I was like, okay. And I even asked some of my friends, I was like, do you think the term thick is racialized? And they were like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, okay, but why? My question is, why is there such an appeal specifically for white, skinny to medium-sized women to want to seem thick? Cultural appropriation. I don't know how to make those two things connect, but in my head that's what I'm thinking. It's like, okay, and I'm literally going to try and figure out how to articulate this during this video because this is a new thought in my head. There's something about the idea of thick. And first of all, that is a black term. Like, I know it's not, it's, this is why I'm saying, is it racialized? Because it's not that thick means black, but thick is a term that I feel is like rooted in black culture, if that makes sense. Like I said, the first places I heard thick were from black people and black culture. So is this just another aspect of black culture that we want to apply to things that they don't apply to? Do you know what I'm saying? And it's also like, I get it, because it's so heavily glorified to be thick, and it's also not like it starts to get so away from its original term when people who are not thick are calling themselves thick. And it's also like, I mean, I guess to some extent thick is subjective, but to some extent, like, you can't be a twig and out here calling yourself thick because you have like a slight booty, like, because, and here's why it starts to get, I will say, dangerous, is because if people who are actually like, because I know it seems harmless, like, oh, I'm thick, I'm wearing a size small, but I'm thick. But what you need to understand is that if we're starting at size small with thick, then you just keep pushing the people who are actually thick, like, off the grid. Does that make sense? So, like, if you're a size small and you're like, oh, I'm thick, then the people who are actually big or who are being ridiculed for being in bigger bodies or who are called fat are being pushed off the scale, because that wasn't supposed to be punny. But do you know what I'm saying? Because we're moving regular and thick down to size small. And for what? So you can say that you're thick? Don't do that. It's not helpful. And it's also like, here's I think the tie that is in my head to cultural appropriation is because when white girls appropriate black hairstyles, it's cool. But when black women do it, they're fired. Well, when skinny girls call themselves thick, it's cool. But when black women are actually in bigger bodies, they're ridiculed. Look at Lizzo, look at literally anywhere. So it's like, until it's actually cool to actually be thick, I would love for these skinny girls to stop being like, oh, I'm thick. Until actually being thick is accepted. You know? And it's like, it's just this weird culture we have of like, really, it's like also the whole obsession, like really skinny girls posting like themselves with massive amounts of food and being like, haha, I eat so much, haha, I'm so thick. What is the game we're playing? I don't really understand. Don't call yourself thick if you are skinny. And I'm just gonna make a quick disclaimer. I'm not saying that white girls can't be thick. There are white girls who are thick. There are white girls who are in bigger bodies, whatever. What I'm saying is I'm seeing specifically a lot of skinny white girls call themselves thick. Like, I'm not here to tell you who's thick and who's not. I'm really not. I think it's just important to realize how, I don't know, insensitive, tone deaf, ignorant, pick one of the above, it is to, well, first you would have to be aware that a lot of black women have been thick for so long and been dismissed as ugly and fat, and then to submerge as a thin white person and be like, this is thick. Isn't it cute? Isn't it hot? And then to receive all the praise for something that a lot of black women have been for so long without that same positive attention is just kind of annoying. Also so weird, because when I'm saying it is recent is because like I literally just remember watching so many shows growing up and movies where like the main characters will be like, does my ass look fat in this? As a bad thing. Which like in this context, like if that movie were to be made today, they would never say that, because now asses being fat is all that matters. And being thick is all that matters. So it's just weird how we flipped on a dime. And how this is like sidebar, but it's also so weird to me how attraction flipped on a dime, because it wasn't just like it went from being thick and being curvy and having a big butt was a bad thing, and then all of a sudden not only was it perceived as good, but all men, not just black men but white men, now are like, ooh, where's the booty? She needs to be thick. And that's always kind of confused me, because like before, like you see it a lot in like shows that were like 90s, early 2000s. It's a lot of the main characters, the main female characters being like, do I look fat? Does my ass look fat in these jeans? Stuff like that. Or guys calling girls fat or too fat or blah, blah, blah. And then somewhere, I can't even pinpoint where it was, but somewhere that flips to, if she doesn't have an ass, I'm not talking to her. And for me, I'm like, so is attraction even real then? Like, are we even attracted at all to what we think we're attracted to, or are we just attracted to what we're told is attractive? Because it doesn't make sense for a certain body type to be attractive to most men, and then all of a sudden this other body type is attractive to all men, which makes me just think it's all a ruse. Yep, that's all I have for today's video. Honestly, I'm gonna go in on the commodification of the female body in a video very soon. But that video is not today. Today is just talking about the word thick. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a really great day. Bye.